Catenaccio with a Libero Who Attacks. Italy in the 60s turned defense into an art form with Catenaccio. Originally designed by Karl Rappan, perfected by Nereo, Rocco, and Helenio Herrera, this system used a sweeper behind the defensive line to mop up danger. But here's the twist. Giacinto Facchetti, playing under Herrera at Inter, was no ordinary libero. He bombed forward like a modern fullback, scoring 10 goals in a season. As a defender, Facchetti didn't just sweep up threats, he created them. He overlapped wingers, arrived late in the box, and passed like a number 10. Catenaccio was supposed to kill games. Instead, it created a blueprint for attacking defenders. And Inter still won trophies without giving up their defensive soul. It's like finding out the guy guarding your house is also the best striker in the neighborhood. Facchetti's runs made defenders panic. The opposition never knew whether to track him or hold their line. And that uncertainty, that was the genius of the system. Total football, but with goalkeepers playing center back. The Dutch gave us total football. Everyone attacks, everyone defends. But in the 1974 World Cup, Rinus Michels and Johan Cruyff took it even further. Their keeper Jan Youngblood acted more like a libero than a shot stopper. He rarely used his hands, stayed outside the box, and helped recycle possession like an outfield player. No gloves, no flying saves, just calm touches and clever passing. This was decades before sweeper keepers were cool. Youngblood wasn't there to make miracles. He was there to make sure miracles weren't needed. He played passes between center backs, stepped up to compress space, and turned goalkeeping into midfield control. He wasn't there to save shots. He was there to stop them from ever happening. Parking the bus with forwards. Defending deep isn't new, but Jose Mourinho's 2010 Inter took it to the absurd. After going up 3-1 against Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final, Mourinho played the second leg with a 6-3-1, including Samuel Eto'o, a Ballon d'Or level striker, as a right back. Eto'o didn't care. He tracked, tackled, and sprinted like his life depended on it. Inter had 20% possession. They lost 0-1 and still went through on aggregate. Milito became a false left back. Sneijder was a defensive midfielder. Everyone became a soldier. You don't need the ball if the other team can't breathe. Mourinho didn't park the bus. He parked a tank with snipers on the wings. And for 90 minutes, Barcelona, maybe the greatest team ever, couldn't find a way through, using no strikers on purpose. Spain's Euro 2012 winning team didn't use a striker in the final. Del Bosque benched both Torres and Llorente. Instead, he fielded 6 midfielders in a 4-6-0. You couldn't mark anyone because nobody was ever where you expected. Fabregas floated, David Silva rotated, Iniesta and Xavi kept the ball like it was glued to their boots. They didn't need a target man. They were the target. They passed Italy into a trance and won 4-0. The false 9 was so false there wasn't even a 9, just illusions and triangles. It was anti-structure, and yet completely controlled. Kick and Rush 2.0. Route 1 football is considered old school and ugly. Long ball, big man, flick-ons. But what if you turned that into science? That's what Tony Pulis did at Stoke. Every throw-in was a set piece. Rory Delap's hands were worth more than some teams' midfields. They trained throw-ins like corner routines and built a strategy around second balls and chaos. They scouted towels, dried the ball like sacred ritual. Delap would wind up and 40,000 fans would hold their breath. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective, especially when the towel was dry. Pulisball didn't just embrace chaos, it manufactured it bottle by bottle of water on the sideline. They didn't need tiki-taka, they had towels, time, and terrifying trajectory. Backpassing into greatness. Pep Guardiola changed football with tiki-taka, but before that, Johan Cruyff's Barcelona used a trick nobody saw coming, the back pass as a weapon. Under old rules, you could pass to your keeper and he could pick it up, so Cruyff told defenders, when pressed, go backwards, not as a retreat, but as a reset. Opposition strikers couldn't press high without being bypassed. Cruyff's team controlled games by retreating into safety and then striking forward. It was legal time wasting with a purpose, stretching the pitch before stretching the opponent. It was genius until FIFA banned it in 1992. Cruyff used the rules like a scalpel. FIFA responded with a chainsaw. Crosses with no intention of scoring. Marcelo Bielsa's teams cross the ball more than any other, but not to score directly. Instead, they cross to recycle. The real target? The second ball. His teams are coached to win the chaos after a failed cross, regain possession, re-attack instantly. It's like shooting just to get the rebound, and it works, when the intensity doesn't burn the players out first. They overload zones not to finish, but to suffocate. Other teams fear losing the ball. Bielsa wants to lose it, just not for long. It's possession by pressure, offense by obsession. Man marking, all over the pitch. Man marking is old, but Atalanta under Gian Piero Gasperini brought it back and dialed it to 11. Every player tracks an opponent, even if it means leaving their zone. The formation, irrelevant. It morphs based on who's nearby. You press man to man like it's a wrestling match. One moment they're in a 3-4-3, the next it looks like an intercontinental manhunt. Gasperini doesn't care about positions, he cares about duels. It's high risk, high reward, and incredibly weird in the age of zonal everything. Atalanta sometimes look like 11 bodyguards chasing 11 celebrities, and sometimes they win. Using set pieces as your main weapon. England used to dread penalties and waste corners, but under Gareth Southgate, set pieces became their superpower. They hired an NBA-style throw-in coach and created love train routines, with players queuing up to run into the box. They ran blocks, picks, and screens like basketball teams. They choreographed chaos. It worked. England scored more set-piece goals than open play in the 2018 World Cup. While other teams played chess, England mastered Jenga. When you can't break open a game, just engineer a free shot from a dead ball, and make sure your center back can head like a striker. Ultra-wide center backs. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal started using inverted fullbacks. Fine. But then he went further, pushing center backs like Gabriel and Saliba into wide zones to create overloads. The result? Arsenal looked like they had 6 midfielders but kept a solid back line. Zinchenko would drift inside, White would drift out, everyone floated, no one was fixed. It's not 3-2-5, it's jazz. Positionally flexible, tactically complex, and extremely nerdy. Arteta didn't copy Pep, he remixed him with geometry and ambition. Football as flowchart, football as freeform. Double pivot behind the striker. Usually a double pivot shields the defense, but in 2008, Jurgen Klinsmann at Bayern used 2 deep midfielders behind the striker in attack. Why? To pull defenders out and allow fullbacks to underlap. Instead of pivoting behind, they pivoted between the lines. It was weird, inconsistent, and ultimately got him sacked. But the seeds of positional play were there. You could see the shape of things to come. Klinsmann's Bayern didn't make sense then. Now, it's basically early Guardiola. Putting a winger at left back, Jupp Heynckes turned David Alaba into the most attacking left back in Europe. Not because Alaba was a natural defender, but because Bayern needed verticality from deep. Instead of a fullback overlapping, Alaba would carry the ball like a winger with defensive duties. He broke lines with dribbles. He passed like a playmaker. He defended like a forward tracking back. He blurred roles before inverted became a buzzword. Heynckes didn't just use Alaba, he reinvented the position around him. He made the back line a launch pad. Tactical fouling as philosophy. Manchester City commit more harmless fouls than most top teams, and it's not random. Under Guardiola, tactical fouling became a strategy. Stop counters early, take a yellow if needed, disrupt momentum. Fernandinho mastered it. So did Rodri. They weren't thugs, they were mathematicians with cleats. The secret isn't dirty play, it's timing. Break the rhythm without breaking the rules. It's not anti-football, it's anti-chaos. A tactic without the ball. Simeone's Atletico Madrid sometimes look like they hate having the ball. They defend in a low block, wait for mistakes, and explode forward in 3 passes. Their strategy is not to play more football, but to play less. No build-up, no risk, just ice-cold counters from hell. It's the football equivalent of a boxer who wins by dodging punches until landing the knockout. And when it lands, you feel it. Some tactics are weird because they're new. Others are weird because they break what we think football is supposed to look like. But the best ones, they bend the game to their will and leave everyone else playing catch-up. Because in football, the line between genius and madness is drawn in chalk and erased every weekend.